Okay, I apologize for that. That was my daughter. So I'm trying to pick up from where I left off, as I was stating earlier, that we wonder, why are we still stressed out? Why are we still depressed? Why are we still carrying this baggage or this load? Well, what I was saying is, oftentimes we say, Lord is yours. I'm dropping it at your foot. You take care of it. I no longer want it. But at the same token, we're looking back. We're picking at it. We're trying to see, what can we actually handle by ourselves? So what God won't do is he's not going to play no game with you. You're either going to give it to him and allow him to bring you through, allow him to handle it, or you're going to hold it and act as if you're giving it to him. See, God says, you give it to me and let me deal with it, or you continue to carry the load and deal with the struggle. You ask and you shall receive. Again, as I always say, you only have to have faith of a mustard seed. I mean, it can be literally that big, and you can tell God is yours, but you have to mean it. When I decided to give God everything, when I decided to let Him handle my luggage or my burdens, and may I add, um, baggage that I did not know I had. The Lord had to tell me that I had baggage. I mean, I was there and I'm praying and I'm thankful and I'm thanking Him. And it's because of the storms that He brought me through. And sometimes when you overcome some of the toughest storms in your life, because you have a few mist and raindrops and a little bit of baggage and everything, you tend not to really focus on it. You don't work on it because you feel like, the major storm is over now, that I can live life. This little bit of stuff that come my way, I can deal with it. And I think that's how I was, or better yet, I know that's where I was. It was like, okay, you got me through the things that I didn't know how I got through or how I overcame. You pulled me through things that I didn't think I was going to come through. So I won't be that selfish child and give you all of my burdens. To the point, my burdens was on the back of my head. It was in the back of my head because I feel like I'm working. I have my house, we have our car, we have food in the refrigerator, we have electric, we have heat, cables, phone, laughter, we have love, we have health. Like, what more could you ask for? Yes, I want a spouse. Yes, I want my other half. I want my future husband. Yes, I would love for this to just be one of many houses that I own. Yes, I would love for my income to increase. I would definitely love to have a better shift. Um, of course, I would love to give more at church because I feel like I'm giving it to you. I'm owed that debt to you, to the Lord, which is why I don't mind what I do or what I'm asked to do whenever it comes to the ministry. Um, Long story short, like I said, because I overcame so many storms, I kind of forgot or didn't focus on the little ones, the little issues. And I remember, like I said, I was in deep prayer, meditation for the very first week with my pastors, and it was like a moment of repent for me. I'm gonna say maybe the first 2 or 3 days, all I did was repent for things I didn't know I was repenting for. I let the Holy Spirit just use me, and I washed I cried myself clean. I felt like, and it was crazy because I made sure that, I washed up, made sure, brush your teeth, clean your ears, your face, everything. And I would go in my prayer closet, and I would have my headphones in and I would listen to the pastors as they pray, and I would pray with them, and I ask God to speak to my heart, and I would just feel this connection and this overwhelming connection actually, and it'll be to the point like through the end of it, I'm crying. Even though we're done with the conversation, I'm still in my prayer closet an hour after prayer, and I'm still crying. I mean, and I'm thanking Him, and I'm asking Him for forgiveness, like I said, and I'm repenting, and I'm just like not knowing where any of this is coming from. And I guess that was the beginning of an amazing relationship between me and the Lord. I always had the relationship with him. I always tried to stay in alignment with him. But to a certain level, just as kids, you start off with kindergarten, and then you graduate, 5th grade, and you start middle school. Then you graduate 8th grade and you start high school. And then you graduate 12th and you're in college. So it's different levels, in the ministry that you get to. And it's not within going to church, it's with your relationship with God. And it's all on how much are you willing to give him. You know, I've been through my phase of I didn't trust him. I was upset at him. Of course, I feared him. I always feared him, and it came into be a love and hate relationship. And we have had our experience, and it came where I had to realize it's not you. God used you. God put you through things to help others. God pulled you through the storm to pull other people through the storm. God used you for something so much bigger. He saved you to save someone else. It's not about you. And the minute that I realized that it was not about me, the minute that I was able to forgive, the minute that I was able to accept my hurt, accept my pain, and deal with it and move forward. And I'm not saying like it just took a minute, but when I finally was able to do all of that, the sun began to shine so bright in my life. My heart, when I say I began to love again, I learned to love Christine. I learned to love all of me, from my head to my toes, from my flaws to my pronunciation issues, um, to the things that people criticize me about. And I used to be like, well, that's me. That was the joy in it. Everything that you may have a problem with when it comes to me, that's what makes me me. That's the uniqueness. So I learned to accept it, and it had to take from me totally loving God, totally loving Jesus, to finally love all of me. And I remember sitting there and I was thinking, like, if my child come in and say, such and such hit me, it hurts me because I love all of my child. I love my kids from the head to the toe. When I birthed them and throughout their childhood, and I was able to hold them and look down at them and love on them. And for someone to cause harm to something that I love so much, that hurts me. And I remember when I realized that, I cried again, because I realized when I hurt me, or when I allow other people to hurt me, my father is hurt. Because it's like, Christina, why don't you, Christine, as much as I get mad when people say Christina, but it's like, Christine, why don't you see in you what I see? And a lot of us that have kids, a lot of you have kids out there, you say that, like, if only you could see yourself through my eyes, you will see how wonderful you are, how beautiful you are, how handsome you are. You are just made perfect. And when I built my relationship, or rebuilt my relationship with God, I realized that, like, He created me in the image and the likeness of Him. So if I feel as though my nose is too big, and I don't like this and I don't like that, you don't like these things about your father. Um, because it all comes from Him. He thought that this is what a perfect picture sculpture was. And that's how He created you. Now your character and your personality and all of that, you grew into that. You made it who it is. That's who you are. But, everything else was Him. So when you hate yourself, and the low self-esteem come in, you can't say that you love God. You can't. And I also believe when you allow people to constantly hurt you, you cannot tell me that you love yourself. Because the way I love my kids, I'm not going to allow anyone to hurt them. And I'm at the point, finally, when I learned to love all of me wholeheartedly, I love me enough not to allow anyone to hurt me. I love my Father enough to love what He created. You know, God made me. My stretch marks made my beautiful kids. My stomach made my angels, So I have to love that. I love that. And once I realized that I am loved and I can give love and I can now accept love and I can be loved, it was so easy for me to say, hold up, you're not good for me. It's time for you to go. It was so much easier for me to say, oh, I'm not welcome here, so let me go where I am welcome. It was so easy for me to realize, oh, you're upset and you're being nasty has nothing to do with me. You have issues with yourself. You know, it started to be easier for me to not take things personal. People attitudes and the way that they treated me and the things that they said out their mouth. And God allowed the sun to still shine through me. The light, He allowed the light to still be there. My heart to still show. At one point in time, I felt as though I got so hurt because I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm such a million and one chance type of person. Like, okay, you messed up. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But in the same token, I'm dying inside because you're messing up by hurting me. And people don't like that. People don't like when you learn to love yourself, when you stand up for yourself, when you respect yourself, when you know who your father is, when you walking with your head held high because you know that you are the daughter or the son of a king. You know that your father is rich with lands and you know that you are blessed beyond measures. And people that don't know you can't accept it. I remember people would say, well, who does she think she is to other people? And a running mouth keep things going. So of course they will come back to me and say, "Girl, such and such, that, this and that," and I will always say, after I built my confidence and everything with God, and I would say, "Oh, well, tell her if she want to know. She can always knock on my door. She can call me up, and we can sit down and have a conversation, and she can get to know me." I said, but to make a long story short, just tell her that my father is a king, and I know who I am, and that's why I carry myself the way that I do. Um, and she didn't even know how to accept that reaction. The girl who brought the to me, and it was funny because it was like it was the truth. And I remember someone telling me that when you come in the room, it's like, yay, like you have uplifted spirits, and it's like people like to be around you, and you never change who you are. Even when you're mad, you're not nasty. And I was like, really? Because I'm dealing with it. I think that sometimes my words can cut, and it is what it is. It is something that I'm working on. But anyway, to get off of that because I'm kind of moving out of balance, and I apologize for that. But what they say: if it speaks and it's come through you, I have to give it to you guys, right? But with that being said, was how I was getting to how we don't know that we have things going on or baggage or certain issues because God done brought us through the storm that we decide to not focus on something that's just really negative. Well, I remember through the midst of me praying and everything, God was telling me I want more from you. And I'm like, okay, um I'm going to wake up every morning and you're the first person I give thanks to. Not my normal when I open up my eyes and me saying, God, thank you so much for waking me up this morning. The typical, rolling out the bed, tired and all, either in my prayer closet or in the center of my floor with nothing but the noise of nature, the noise from the bird or the sun or whatever, in in God. And I'm going to give him thanks and I'm going to thank him. And so I can't think of nothing to thank of because you get my praises first thing in the morning. You get my praises when I come home. You get my thank you and my praises throughout the day. So he said, Christine, I'm proud of you. I feel like he was smiling on me, hugging me, and he says, that's not enough. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to start learning. I'm going to read the Bible. I'm going to learn the Bible. I'm going to learn your words. I might not be able to quote everything, but I'm going to learn and I'm going to read and I'm going to study this Bible. Every day I'm going to be dedicated to reading this on top of anything that I have to do for my youth, anything that I want to do on my own. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually finish reading the Bible. Um, and God is such a loving God, such a giving God, such a father of understanding and acceptance that he didn't step on my toes when I offered these things. He didn't say, "No, girl, that ain't what I'm talking about." He smiled at me, and I felt that he was thankful. He was happy with me. And then a day or so would go by, and he would say, "Christine, I want more from you." And I remember, y'all, and like I said, I built my relationship with God, and I remember thinking to myself, "Man, you tripping, because I don't smoke, I'm not drinking, I'm trying to walk in the life of Christ, I'm trying to do everything possible, I'm trying to be a good mother, I'm even, being nice to who I call the jerk of a kid's father." Um, I'm doing all that I think that I could possibly do. Um, I'm not even snapping on things that, I'm changing, like my attitude and everything. Like, what do you mean you want more? And it's so funny because even though I'm sitting here and I'm trying to find out and I'm going through this with him, like, what do you mean you want more? Like, right here in the back of my head, I knew what he wanted, but I was like, he's going to have to, God is going to have to give me a major sign before I make that commitment, and it was to the point I couldn't even sleep at night because it was just sitting on me, and it was just like, you gotta fix it. You need to fix it. So, I think it was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe, and I was up because now I can't really sleep at night, because I know that it's something that my father wants me to give him, an offering, a sacrifice. But in my heart, I was still trying to hold on to that part. Like, Lord, I'll give you everything, but let me hold on to this. But yet, I still want you to fix this, this, and this, and that. I still want you to be in any relationship that I go in. I still want you to be in my new marriage. I want you to handle all of that. But let me do this part. And you cannot play a game with God. You cannot pick and choose. If you want to give it to Him, you got to give it to Him wholeheartedly. Because if you knew what you was doing, then you would have never turned to the Lord. So just keep that in mind. If what you was doing was really working, you wouldn't be turning to him. You would be turning to him just to give him thanks only, okay? So about 2 o'clock in the morning, I get out the bed and I sat in the floor where I do my prayer, and I crossed my legs and everything. I sat there Indian style, and I remember having my hands on my lap like this, which is like you're accepting a gift. So I had my hands like this on my lap, and I said, "I'm here." I remember telling God, I said, "I'm here. And I think I finally know what you want." I said, "Lord, if this is what you truly want from me, it's yours." I said, "It's yours. I give it all to you." And I remember feeling him finally, like his presence just sitting in front of me. I remember feeling like he was just surrounded around me. Like, my child, my obedient child. I remember finally telling him that I give it all to you. God is yours. Give it all to you. Did you know? You know what I need, what I want. You know what to do with it. And only you can make it better. Crying, releasing it all. And I remember finally giving it to him, finally telling God, I am not going to have sex anymore. I'm going to practice abstinence until I get married. And I remember it just felt like any any negative, any illness, any burden, just like everything that wasn't supposed to be inside me was just released. Like I just felt new again. And I remember finally, after minutes that went by, getting up, and I was like, but I don't have anything to give or to show you as a symbol of me making a sacrifice for you. And he said, look down, my child. And I remember looking on the dresser, and this is not the ring, but it was a ring similar to this one, and it was on the dresser, and it was my daughter's ring that she left on my dresser. And I picked the ring up like this, right? I remember I went to hit the ring, and as I slid the ring on my finger, yo, just another, so surreal, another feeling came around me, and it was as if I married the Lord, as if I gave him all of my life, where we were one. Me and him was one. And he's like, Christine, you wear it until I send the right man, your husband, to put the ring on this finger. And then he can lead you. And you won't second guess it because he'll be sent from me. He'll be half of what I am to you because no one can be God. But he's going to be my spiritual advisor. He's going to be my backbone. He's going to be my best friend. He's going to be lover. He's going to complete me. He's going to open up a whole nother world to me. And I just remember thanking God and crying and crying. And and ever since then, I've just been in good spirits. Sometimes when you waiting for your other half, you're not always happy. And you're constantly praying about it. And oftentimes I forget to pray about it because when God promises you something, you don't got to keep asking. It's in the works. It's coming, baby girl. It's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, it's coming. Fellas, it's coming. Let God prepare your wife for you. You don't want to take a cake out the oven in the middle of it is not done. And you go to cut into it, taking the time to get all the ingredients together and mixing it up and preparing it and putting it in the oven and then decorating it, and you got something so beautiful only to cut through it and the inside of it is a hot mess, you know? So it's the same thing when it comes to your future wife, when it comes to your future husband. Don't rush what needs to be cooked, you know? And that's even me. God is preparing me for my husband. God is preparing my husband for me. And I don't rush it like, Lord, where is he? Where is he? I'm getting anxious because I know that it takes a while to get to where we need to get. And then, in the midst of everything that was going on, I remember cooking dinner, and then I'll let you guys go ahead. I remember cooking breakfast, I'm sorry. I remember cooking breakfast. And I remember God showing me a glimpse of who my future husband was while I was cooking. And it was so weird because he never showed me the face. It's like he showed me the build. The guy had on like a black like sweater or suit jacket or something like that, and it was like I'm gonna say something like maybe a briefcase, and the briefcase showed everything that he was going to be for me. And it was like, I can't show you everything, but I want to keep you motivated type of thing. I don't want you to think that it's not there. I can't show you it all yet, but he's in the works. And when he showed me that, y'all, and he said, he's past what I imagined. He's pays more than what I could ask for. And I couldn't even, you get into the yes, yes, and you're dancing, the Holy Ghost, and you're like, Lord, 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 because, that's me. I'm one of them, yes, 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 yes. And when he did it, I was just like, yes, almost forgot I was cooking. And I remember he said, now, we got through that. I need to let you know, a man like that, you have to be ready because he's going to come correct. You're not ready. You need to get rid of your baggage. And I'm like, my baggage? And I'm running down to God. What do you mean? I done overcame this. I done did that. I done forgave. I'm happy. I'm content. I'm waiting on you. And he says, so when he asks you for your hand, can you say I do? And all of my cockiness went just that quick. And I said, wow. And he said, if he said, we're going to get a bigger house, we're going to buy this house, babe, and it's going to be in both of our names. Is your debt paid up? And I said, again. And I said, wow. And he specifically said, I want you to pay your debts and I want you to get a divorce. And I remember praying that he forgave me for, even having to go through a divorce, and he accepted it. But that was, he's already told me, is what you need to do. And ever since then, I've been following in the steps of the Lord. I mean, I've been following his steps, but I have followed his requests. All of the debt that I can think of, I have paid off. Not down, I done paid off. Now, my student loan is the one that I'm working on now, currently. And I'm also proud to say that come April the 4th, I will no longer be Mrs. It will just be Miss. So, yes, I took the proper steps for that as well. Um, and I'm saying this to say, if you are following me, if you are following this, the process of me practicing abstinence and being celibate until I get married, also know that I'm not dating until after April the 4th, because I'm not bringing anyone. God is not going to bless no mess. I'm not bringing anyone into something while I'm still into something myself. But once that's complete, yes, I would date, and until God shows me, hey, this is the one. I keep God hand and everything, and I pray. I am still reading different books. I am still reading the Bible, and I'm still in a good mood. I'm still staying positive. And I still look forward to better. I'm focusing on my youth ministry. I'm focusing on my new job. Focusing on my kids now that I have better hours in my house. So I have been busy, but in the same token, it's perfect. Everything is happening in perfect timing, so it's not making me anxious and rushing or anything like that. So just have faith, you guys. Just believe and have a relationship. Talk to God. If you feel like it's too hard, if you feel like you can't wait anymore, if you feel like you're ready to just give up, if you feel like I know who I want, talk to God. Do not give God, excuse me, a present and ask God to give that present back to you as a gift. Let God give you the gift. You cannot say, okay, God, this is who I want my husband to be. Now fix him to be who I need him to be. No, that doesn't work like that. And a lot of us do that. You cannot do that. It's kind of like the story with the bird. If you let it go, you let it go, and if it comes back to you, then it was yours and it was meant to be. If it doesn't, it wasn't yours to begin with. I kind of don't agree with the whole saying like that when it comes to a relationship. But however, sometimes that is true. In what you're doing, do it the right way. You guys focus on what you need to. Prepare yourself. And if you guys find each other again or come back to each other, God bring you back together and God make it work, then God bless you. But do not go out here looking for someone and then start saying, God, I really like this person. He has this, this, and this, and that. Can you make him, is this for me? I believe he's mine. Tell me, make him mine. I did that. It doesn't work. That's not giving it all to God. You got to give it all to God. Let God bring this person to you. And then you don't tell God, okay, God, he got this, this, and this, and that. Can't you work on him now? You let God bring your person to you. Like a lot of people said that they made a list of, that I know that they made a list of the requirements of their husband. My major list is just God fearing, family oriented. Um, that's my list, because I can't say, oh, he has to be my best friend. I'm not going to know within the first day of talking to him, like, hey, you're my best friend, because who does that? Um, I'm not going to know that the first day of talking to you, like, yo, you really are my backbone. How? How? So I, as my girlfriend say, how? So, as far as me with the list, no, I have not made a list. I have, of course, I have an ideal, but I am so open. I'm so ready to be. I want it to be where God put the gift in front of me and I just open it up and unwrap it and be like, oh my God, I didn't know I wanted this. I didn't know I wanted this too. You gave me this. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I didn't even ask for this. I would never even thought to ask for this. Like, that's how excited I am about my, to the point that I'm not going to say or tell him what I want him to be. I'm going to let God bring him to me and show me what he is and all that he will be. To me, I can't say like I want you to love my kids and accept them as yours. I definitely want that, but I can't say day one, oh, he smiled at my daughter. He's gonna love her and act as and treat her as if he's. I mean, you don't know. It's a process. So for me to write a list for me personally would not benefit me. Um, However, I know that the Lord knows, and I know that God got jokes, but He know that my one thing, that I don't prefer, and that's what I can say. I just hope that the one thing that I know that I would have an issue with. I hope that that is not what I get. But anyway, you guys, that was it. Thank you so much for your time for listening. I'm sorry if the video dragged out too long for you. Peace, blessings, loving it all. Know who you are, believe in who you are, and also educate yourself. Not only be spiritually educated, uplifted, religious wise, but also culturally. Um, it don't matter what your background is. Love it, learn about it, accept who you are, because then and only then can you say that you completely love yourself. If you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you came from, you don't even know who you are. So that is something that I did want to leave you with as well. And thank you so much for listening. God bless you all. Good night. Good night.